Hi everybody. With 15 days of racing in the bag, let's start with a quick week 2 recap. 2,379 kilometers and 31,370 meters of elevation gain have been covered so far, and there's 1,016 kilometers and 21,000 meters of elevation gain to go till Rome. That's 30% of the overall distance to go, containing 40% of all the climbing. On the Stage 10 ITT, Dan Hole surprised by beating Tarling and Hayter. The GC men rode in the wet, and amongst them Derek G did best, ahead of Roglic and Ayuso, with Carapaz and Bernal conceding the most time. On Stage 11, the expected break went up the road, yet UAE controlled, and with 9k to go, Carapaz put in a blistering attack in quite an unexpected place. He never got more than 20 seconds, yet successfully completed a 9k solo, finishing 10 seconds ahead of the 18-rider GC group. On Stage 12, Wout van Aert rode a beastly final kilometer, delivering Olaf Koy to perfection, who finally managed to get his stage win, ahead of Van Ude and Ben Turner, who sprinted to third. On Stage 13, Pedersen and Van Aert rode a massive sprint, with Pedersen coming out on top and Del Toro in third. Stage 14 got marred by a big crash, and Casper Asgreen beat all odds by staying out of the grasp of the chasing group. This group was only made up of 16 riders, including G, Carapaz, Simon Yates and Del Toro, who once more didn't put a foot wrong. Bernal, Roglic and Ayuso came in 1 minute and 4 seconds off the lead, and 48 seconds behind Del Toro, G and Simon Yates. Tiberi lost time and Ciccone finished the stage, yet had to abandon the race following post-race medical examinations. On Stage 15 then, Ineos once more tried to upset the establishment. You just have to love their riding here. It were Del Toro and Carapaz going with Bernal on the Monte Grappa, and besides Bernal attacking, we also saw activity from Simon Yates and Carapaz himself, yet Del Toro always countered. Then, on the second climb of the day, the unexpected happened, with Roglic all of a sudden being distanced by the main GC group and being the only one losing 1.5 minutes. At the end of the day, it was Carlos Verona who took the stage for a little trek by attacking on the second climb of the day and completing an impressive 44k solo. Here's the GC going into the final week of the 2025 Giro d'Italia, with Del Toro holding 1 minute and 20 seconds over Simon Yates and an extra 6 seconds on his teammate Ayuso. Roglic drops to P10, sitting at nearly 4 minutes of the lead. And here's what makes this Giro so interesting. We still have 10 riders within 4 minutes of the lead. For reference, last year around, Pogačar held a 6 minute and 41 second lead over the second placed rider on GC when going into the final rest day. The young rider competition is also amongst Ayuso and Del Toro, basically the same guys riding for GC, once more raising questions as per the relevance of these standings in the overall picture. In the points competition, Pedersen sits solidly in the lead, 105 points ahead of his main rival Olaf Koy. There's still 304 points on offer till Rome, yet a large chunk of these will go to the climby breakaways. So while this jersey isn't yet mathematically secured, as long as Pedersen keeps the rubber side down, he'll take this jersey home. In the KOM competition, Fortunato solidified his hold on the jersey by cresting the Monte Grappa first. There's still an awful lot of points on offer though in this final week, so he'll have to work to keep this jersey off the shoulders of the dominant GC rider. Talking about that final week, it is brutal. 3 5-star mountain stages with serious GC potential, 1 mountain stage for the breakaway, and 2 sprint stages. Frankly, with the standings still being fairly close, we're up for a treat here. Which brings us to stage 16, which is brutal, coming out of the rest day into a 200-kilometer stage with nearly 5,000 meters of elevation gain. A true mountain sawtooth stage with a mountaintop finish, presenting the riders with 3 first-category climbs. The Candriai, 10k at just over 7% average, the climb to Santa Barbara, 13k at 8.3% average, yet with the first 9k at over 9% average, and straight into the finish climb to San Valentino, over 17k at 6.3% average, which is fake news, given there's some steps in the climb. While this stage presents a great opportunity for the breakaway, looking at the current race situation, with many riders still in the running for a podium or even a win here, I'm leaning towards a GC scenario. Here's the betting odds at the time of recording, with Del Toro as the main favorite ahead of Carapaz and Ayuso. And then here's the riders to watch in my book. Bernal and Aresman have been very active in the second week, and Bernal is obviously feeling well. I see no reason why they wouldn't continue their aggressive racing into the third week. Both riders are currently sitting in P8 and 9, just under 4 minutes of the lead. Ayuso and Del Toro at UAE, and Simon Yates at Visma Lease Bike, the GC top 3 moving into the final week of this Giro. Tiberi at Bahrain and Carapaz at EF, 7th and 4th on GC respectively. And at Red Bull Bora, we'll find out whether we saw a temporary Roglic glitch or whether the downward trend continues. I guess we'll find out on this stage, and then it will be interesting to see whether they are ready to change the plan by allowing Pellizzari to fight for stage wins or a top 10 on GC. Somewhere in this last week, I expect we're going to see an attempt at a stage victory by Yodu, and I'm going to call Pools once more in a breakaway scenario. The same goes for Zana, who did come out of hibernation on stage 15, a trend which you can expect to continue into the final week. Him and Plap will certainly try to score another stage win for the team, and it's not excluded we'll get to see more from Verona. Yet I just don't expect it to be on this stage. Then Bardet or Pool at Picnic Postenel, G at Premier Tech in a GC scenario and Frigo in a break scenario, Storer at Tudor, and finally Prodom at AG2R in a breakaway scenario. Del Toro and Ayuso are my 4-star picks here because they have the strength in numbers. Bernal, Simon Yates and Carapaz get 3 stars, Tiberi, Pellizzari, Roglic and Bardet get 2 stars, and Pool gets 1 star. As for the podium, I'm going to go against my own stars by making a gut call and calling Carapaz for the win ahead of Bernal, with Ayuso coming home in third on the same time as Del Toro. Enjoy the stage and see you tomorrow for my stage 17 preview.